On February 4th, 1977, two trains collided on the elevated track at Wabash and Lake during rush hour. Four train cars went off the track. The term loop not only refers to Chicago's business district, it also refers to the rectangular pattern formed by elevated trains. Some trains follow a complete circuit around the entire rectangular loop, hitting all four corners and leaving on the same path. Other trains enter the loop by hitting only two corners and leave on a different route. Also, some trains follow a counterclockwise pattern, while others follow a clockwise pattern. On the day of the crash, there were four train lines in operation heading in different directions. The Ravenswood line, or the current Brown Line train, ran counterclockwise. The Evanston Express, which is currently the Purple Line, and the Loop Shuttle ran clockwise opposite the Ravenswood train on the inner track. The Lake Dan Ryan, which now forms some of the Green and Red Line, operated in both directions, but only on the Lake and Wabash legs of the loop. Earlier in the day, on the day of the incident, a switching issue forced dispatchers to reroute the Evanston Express to run counterclockwise around the loop instead of its normal clockwise. This put the Evanston train on the track normally used by the Ravenswood westbound and Lake Dan Ryan trains. The Ravenswood train would have to stop short and wait for the Evanston train to clear before proceeding. While waiting, the Lake Dan Ryan train would arrive and would also be required to stop and wait for the Ravenswood train to clear before it could also proceed to clear the State and Lake platform. As the Dan Ryan train approached, it didn't stop, even though the track and cable signals were working properly. The Dan Ryan train struck the back of the Ravenswood train. The impact was only 10 miles per hour, and passengers described it as a quiet thump. Yet motorman Stephen A. Martin continued to apply traction power, which made the rear cars push forward, pinning the front of the train against the Ravenswood train. With the Dan Ryan train unable to move forward, the pressure from behind caused the coupling bars between the first two cars to bend the coupled ends into the air. As the motor power kept being applied to the first three cars, the Budd 2200 and the single Pullman Standard jackknifed off the tracks. The second and third cars fell onto the street. The first car fell onto the track structure. The fourth car was between the track edge and the surface street. The last four cars remained on the track at the Randolph and Washington station. Traces of THC were found in one urine sample of Martin, yet the extent to which Martin may have been under the influence at the time of the accident could not be determined. Martin had a poor safety record and had been responsible for an earlier derailment. It was claimed that he talked to passengers while driving and would normally read while operating the train. Martin caused the restrictive cab signal by the train to be overridden. Distracted, he left the station under 15 miles per hour, which did not trigger the auto control. After the collision, either panic or inertia caused him to move forward, causing the derailment. 6 months later, Martin was fired after an investigation. As a result, the CTA forbade motormen to proceed past a red signal on site without permission from the control center. The Everson Express was changed to the inner track, and an iron beam was added to the elevated structure to ensure that a car could not fall off the tracks. 11 people died, and at least 268 people were injured.